Okay, I need to find the cap. And I've already forgotten where the cap is. So I'm going to talk to Captain Bay once more. Captain Bay will surely help me find this cap. Let's see. Anybody who wanted to harm the ambassador? We had this. Okay, here it is. Retrieve the ambassador's cap from the main courtyard. It's taken out this evening? Yes, she usually came to collect the cap. So it's in the main courtyard, on the stone bench by the north wall of the main courtyard. Stone bench, main courtyard, and here's the main courtyard. Okay, so the main courtyard is this area. Main bench on the north wall. Let's examine this bench. Maybe that's what we need to do. A stone bench. I don't see any cap here. No hat. Captain Bay said the ambassador's cap should be here. Where could it be? I guess I could ask the maid. You know, he said she was the one who usually moved the cap. She usually put it there, but maybe she moved it for some reason today. I think that's gonna be the explanation. Here we go, about the ambassador's cap. I was told you were responsible for replacing the ambassador's cap. Was that the case tonight? That's right, sir. He always leaves an extra cap here so I can dry it and have it ready for his next visit. Today was especially humid, so I knew he'd want his replacement right away. I put the one he was wearing on the stone bench in the main courtyard. That's the best place to dry it. Are you aware that the ambassador's cap is missing? No, sir, I had no idea. But I left it on a stone bench. I always leave it there for drying. Thank you, Miss Sun. I hope I was of some help. I guess you were, but now I have no idea what to do. That was my only lead. It was this missing hat. How can I help, detective? Let's see. I don't think I can talk to any of these other characters about anything else. I'll go back to Bay. Maybe he knows. Or the one in the courtyard, that would be helpful too. Let's see if we can find this cap. Maybe it's inside this painted vase. So we can look at the table and the bench, but I don't think it's going to be on the table. Okay, did you see the cap? I'm looking for Ambassador's Choice cap, the one the maidservant would take it out to dry on his arrival. Have you seen it? I'm afraid I haven't seen it, sir. You'd be better off asking Sun Ying, but she's a clumsy girl, that one. It wouldn't surprise me if she misplaced it. And between you and me, I don't think she'll last here much longer. What makes you say that? I suppose I've seen her kind before, sir. Careless and too cunning for her own good. I can tell the good ones from the bad ones, you know. I've served in many distinguished houses, like the Liangs of the Duji province. You must have heard of them. I served the great Liang family for over 10 years. That is until 2 years ago when the eldest son threw away their fortune in the gambling halls. I thought then that my fate had been sealed, destined to wait tables in tasteless inns and wine houses. Fortunately, the Liang matriarch was good enough to write me a letter of recommendation before things got even worse. That's how I ended up here, sir. So you were acquainted with Minister Wang? No, not at the time, sir. But you see, Minister Wang was once very close to the Liang clan, and when I presented him with proof that I'd served the Liang household with distinction, he was quite swift in his decision to hire me. Yes, I remember now. I heard about the Liangs while I was taking my final literary examination in the capital. If memory serves, official reports held that after suffering the shame of financial ruin, the entire family had committed suicide in their ancestral home in Duji. News of that terrible scandal echoed throughout the capital for weeks. It was a horrible affair, sir. Simply horrible. Doesn't seem to have anything to do with the cap, but I couldn't quite put my finger upon it, but his account of the Liang tragedy felt hasty and insincere. Unfortunately, my knowledge of that affair is only second-hand. I'll need something more substantial if I wish to confront him. Perhaps Minister Wang would know more. Interesting. So it looks like we could talk to Minister Wang, but I'll go back here and talk to Bay about the missing cap, just in case there's a conversation there. The ambassador's cap is missing. It's not on the stone bench. That's odd. I saw the maidservant take it, I'm certain of. I guess she could have taken it somewhere else. Have you tried asking her? I have. So we've got multiple people telling me to ask her, but I've already asked her. I don't think she's gonna have any new information about the missing cap. Why would somebody hide a cap? What's so important about the cap? I don't know, but let's talk to Minister Wang. How can I help, Detective? Mr. Song told me an interesting tale about how he became the steward of this estate. He credits a letter written by the late Madame Liang of Duji. Yes, that is true. I did hire him largely on the strength of that recommendation. Liang Tao and his wife were a formidable aristocratic couple whose influence reached far and wide. I was fortunate enough to call myself a friend, but over the years we lost touch. Truth be told, even at a young age, their firstborn son was an incorrigible troublemaker who left an unsettling impression on me. Perhaps I distanced myself without even knowing it. Or, perhaps you're rewriting history, now that, he's a bad person. In the end, that his gambling addiction was the cause of their downfall did not entirely surprise me. Even so, when I heard the news of their tragic demise, I was deeply saddened. I made many inquiries, holding out hope the rumors surrounding their ritual suicide were grossly exaggerated, and that perhaps some members of the family survived the ordeal. I understand this is a sensitive personal matter for you, Minister, but I assure you I wouldn't be asking it if it wasn't important. Very well, my initial inquiries were fruitless, until one day, months later, I received word from a reliable source that someone had indeed escaped unharmed. Although Madame Liang had accepted the path that her husband had chosen, her compliance did not extend to taking the life of their 3-year-old granddaughter. She secretly made sure the young one was spared the lethal dose of poison that killed the rest of them. How remarkable. Indeed, that little girl, she's nothing less than a miracle. With luck, she will live out the rest of her life peacefully in Chengdu, where we were able to locate a distant relative willing to take her in. So you see, when Song came to me with that letter of recommendation, I took it as an act of providence, one last opportunity to do right by my old friends. Now that I know more private details about the Liang affair, I can confront Song to see if his story holds up, or if he's just a liar. But first, let's talk to the maid. Nope, no new conversation options with her. Willing to bet there are no new conversation options with the chef. I don't want to go out front and talk to the guard again. That's kind of going far out of my way, so I'm gonna not do that. I'll just go directly outside and make sure this castle steward, not castle steward, just that the steward is in fact telling the truth. Okay, Song. About the Liangs. You mentioned your service for the Liang family in Duji. Just now the minister and I were debating a finer point concerning that affair. I thought surely if anyone could help us settle the question, it would be you. I hope you can indulge my curiosity. But sir, aren't there more pressing matters to attend to? You misunderstood me. This was not a request. It was an order. I'm very sorry, sir. I didn't mean to suggest. No apology needed. Simply answer me this. When faced with ruin and shame, the entire Liang family retreated to their ancestral home and committed ritual suicide. No one was spared except for one. Can you tell me who survived? But they all died, I'm sure of it. It was common knowledge. Ha! It was indeed common knowledge that the entire family poisoned themselves, but only a select few knew the entire truth. As luck would have it, Minister Wang is such a person. The Liang matriarch knew her husband's suicidal plans and had no choice but to follow his wishes, but she could not bear to see the family's youngest, her 3-year-old granddaughter, suffer the same fate. Madame Liang made sure the girl was spared the lethal dose of poison that killed the others. But you could have not known that, since, contrary to your false claims, you never worked for the Liangs at all. But, not another word. Your crude and callous retelling of the Liang affair never did sit well with me. How could a man devoted to the same family for so long recount such a tale with such utter lack of sentiment? You're an opportunist, but not a very smart man. Like everyone else at the time, you heard the stories about the Liangs, but you decided you could use that knowledge to your advantage. You forged the letter you claimed was written by the matriarch and lied your way into your current position. What are you playing at, Song? Come out with it now. It's true I lied about my past, sir. I won't deny it any longer. I was desperate for a job, and although I had worked as a servant before, I knew I lacked the experience for this position. But I assure you I had nothing to do with the ambassador's death. I'll be the judge of that. What else did you lie about? The ambassador's cap. I was the one who took it from the stone bench earlier this evening, just after the maidservant brought it out to the courtyard. Explain yourself at once. It's nothing nefarious, sir. I swear. I needed something to protect myself from son Ying. Like you, she somehow found out about my dishonesty. She said she would keep quiet, but warned me she would one day ask for something in return. I didn't want to take any chances, so I thought if I could get the masters to distrust her, I could even the odds. So you stole the cap as an insurance policy against your own deceit? Trying to get her fired because she knew your secret. Wow. I just wanted to hide it long enough to undermine her competence, or I was going to return it, I swear. I know how foolish that was now. Please have mercy on this humble servant, sir. I don't know.